Hey guys, it's Morgan coming back at you with another tech video. Today we are installing a Rekluse Radius CX on this 2021 YZ250, which is just like installing it on a 03 YZ250 or an 09 or a 2015. Anyway, they're all the same. So let's start by, I already got the brake lever out of the way. Let's start by pulling this off and getting the clutch out of the way. Obviously you're going to want to drain the oil. Normally I do these laying on their side, but I think for this video this will be easier for me to film with it up here on the lift. So if you're doing this at home, you definitely can just lay the bike on its left side, turn the gas off, and get that done without draining the oil. But like I said, I think this would be better for filming, and this guy's going racing this weekend, so we might as well change the oil. So let me grab the stuff and we'll get that done. Alright guys, so I'm going to talk you guys through kind of my whole process. Because I've never filmed one on a YZ or Rekluse. I've done lots of KTM ones, but also I've never talked about kind of how I organize things. So yeah, let's go through all of that. First of all, I love these things. I get them from Amazon. I forget who makes them, but if you look up bolt organizers or whatever, anyway, these things are rad. So take the clutch cover bolts, drop them in there. Now, the thing with Rekluse, honestly, if Rekluse ever watches this video, please, some point in the future, start putting the O-ring in, a new clutch cover O-ring in, because it is silly to buy an $1,100 clutch and then have to reuse this. That's goofy. Anyway, with the Radius CX, we get a new cover, so we can take this, it's off to the side, take our thing, put it down here in this tray. Now we need a tin. Again, these trays are so nice because you can put like things with like things. Alright, so that's going to give us pressure plate. There we go. Take our throw out bearing thingy dealy, whatever. Leave the rod just in there. There's no reason to take it out right now. So we'll take this, set it down now. Since it's a CX, we're getting all new of all this, not the basket, but we're getting everything else new. Now here is the thing that I like to show folks for getting this nut off. This nut, if you just have a big ratchet or whatever, is really, really hard to get off. You have to have a clutch holder tool. And that's fine if you want to get one or you have one or whatever. But let me show you how to do it the quick and easy way. Alright, so first things first, you got to take the lock washer, get it opened up. There we go. So it's a 29 millimeter. And we take our impact and we're just going to push on these clutch plates, and by doing that you're going to lock the clutch hub to the basket, and the basket's locked to the crank. I mean, that's what touches the crank. So push on here, lefty loosey, just comes right off. That is the easiest way to do this, guys. Like, again, if you want to buy the holder, that's awesome, that's cool, whatever, but for me, that's easiest, and I don't have to have a whole bunch of holders for different clutches. Alright, now we're going to take this whole rig out. You can just grab the inner hub, slide the whole thing. I want to make sure that this washer spacer stays in here. That thing a lot of times likes to stick to the back of this hub. And then I've seen people take it off, set it down, it'll fall off either in something good like this tray or like on the ground, whatever. They don't notice it, put it all back together, and the thing doesn't work. So anyway, all right, let's go grab the Rekluse. Boom, there we go. Alright, like I said, when you buy a Radius CX, it comes with new pressure plate, new inner hub, all the plates, and the expanding ring. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our friction plates and the expanding ring, the thing that does the work, and we're going to put it in this bag that it comes in, which is nice. And then we're going to put some oil in here. You just want to use the oil that you're going to put in the transmission anyway. So I like Bellray Gear Saver. And put some. Doesn't have to be just a whole bunch. Just enough to get everything wet and marinating. I will say that these bags are not watertight. So wherever you set this thing down for it to hang out while you're working, needs to be okay to have oil on it. So another reason these trays are awesome. Now, take our inner hub. And these are always tight, guys. Like, cause that's a brand new machine part, and it's going over that shaft, the main shaft of the transmission, and it's just tight. And so it's all right, and it takes a little wiggling to get it on there. All right, now we're gonna take our instructions, and I can definitely say that Rekluse comes with really good instructions. If you just read them, you'll do well. Even they show landed on its side. Now they say, and I'm going to do it opposed to their directions because I'm going to tighten that nut the same way I loosened it. But they say to install the hub and the nut and everything first. Problem is you can't do that without a holder. Again, you don't need a holder. This works just fine, everybody. Trust me. So there we go. Now what we're going to do is see these sleeves. These are, I call them sleeves. These little things go on the clutch basket. If you're putting this into an older bike, you really want to take a good look at the fingers of this basket to make sure they're not grooved. This bike's brand new. It's got maybe 5 hours on it, so I know that they're okay. I actually did this on my own bike, and I didn't put an auto clutch, but I put a manual that came with these sleeves anyway. And the basket was already grooved, and it ended up causing problems. So I ended up having to get a new basket anyway. So if they're grooved, you can't just put these things in. It will actually just dent these guys, and then you got problems. So anyway, you install these. These are to protect the basket from getting grooved because they're steel. We put a steel plate in first, then we put the expanding ring, and then we start stacking plates in, which is different than most Rekluses. So on the YZs, that's what they call for. So we're going to start with steel plate, drop it in, then our well-soaked expanding ring. And it's always a little bit stiff getting these friction plates, and that expanding ring basically is a friction plate to start, because these little sleeves kind of move around, and until you get them, a few of them in there, it wants to move around, so it takes a little bit. So then another steel plate, and now we're just going to stack them in, alternating like any other clutch. Alright, we finished with the steel plates. Boom. Just like that. Alright, now we take our lock washer, put her in here. Fortunately, Rekluse does send a new lock washer. Take our nut. Same thing, gonna hold the plates. We're gonna go in. Now we're gonna bend one of the tabs up. I like to only bend one, and Yamaha does the same thing. That original lock washer only had one tab bent up. That way you can reuse it if you need to take this apart for any reason. So, all right, now we don't put the throw out in here. We put this on first. We're going to set the installed gap. All right, now we're going to take 3 of the springs for the pressure plate and put them in alternating holes. Again, this is not final assembly. This is setting the installed gap, which is really important on these. On the KTMs and things with hydraulic clutches, you do this later, you adjust it later. On this, you want to get this right the first time so you don't have to take this cover back off. Just run them down so they stop. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to get the torque wrench out yet. So we're going to take our flat blade screwdriver and we're going to unlock the adjuster. Right there. That is the adjuster. It's in the lock position now. We're going to unlock it, which is in, turn, and there we go. All right, guys, so this ring, you're going to go lefty-loosey and bring it out until it touches this plate. And it'll be really easy. You just use your finger here. Don't have to go crazy. And you come out until it makes contact with the pressure plate. There we go. So you're, like I said, you're screwing it out until it makes contact. So now that we've done that, we're taking our screws out. And we take the pressure plate out. Now guys, we're going to take a marker, Sharpie, and we're going to put a mark on the hub just over one of the circle detents. Like, it's too hard to show on the camera to make it make sense, but we'll if you just look, if you get one of these things, you'll see these have these little detents, and it's what locks this thing in. So we're gonna go like that. And you want to mark both the inner aluminum ring and the hub. And now you're going to come a full turn out, and you're just going to bring that back, and you're following that mark, comes around and line it back up, boom, just like that. And now you're going to come 3 circle detents past that. So we're right here, we're going to come 3, so 1, 2, 3, we're going to put that one right there. Now we're going to lock it in. There we go. Boom. And that's locking us in. Take our throw out, put it back in there. Ow. Pressure plate. And now we're going to put our screws in. And we're going to run these things in, and then we're going to torque them to 9 foot-pounds. But I use this to just go quickly, get them in. Then we'll come back with the torque wrench, hit them all at 9 foot-pounds, which isn't very much. I have done a bunch of these things with just my gun. I've got a real lightweight 1/4 inch impact that just, if you just barely hits the like the rattle part, you're at like maybe 7 or 8 foot-pounds. It's really lightweight. But we will, for the sake of this video, go ahead and do the official 9 foot-pounds. All right, 9 foot-pounds. You want to put the thing in gear, otherwise this will just spin. Now that we've got the installed gap correct, because the way the Rekluse works is that it's always disengaged just a little bit. So now we're going to come in here, and like I said, we got the thing in gear. We're going to come in here. There we go. I just like to do a crisscross pattern. I don't know that it really matters once you have them all snugged down, but and when you're torquing things, especially a plate like this, it's lots of bolts, I just go back after I've had it beep on all of them, or click if you have a clicker style, and just hit them all, make sure they're all the same. There we go. Boom. So now they want us to make sure that we got free play in the clutch O-ring back in the cover, or into this cover. There we go. That's interesting. I don't know if they meant to have the Rekluse at an angle like that. That's funny. I'm gonna have to call and ask him. I know Andy's not gonna care, but that's kind of hilarious.
Mr. Morgan,
What is happening?
you remember this face?
Yeah, oh yeah. What's going on, man? All right, guys. Got her all in there. Got her fired up. Working good. Let me just show you the last kind of thing you want to do. Well, you want to break it in and write it around, make sure everything's good. But also, what you want to do is you want to check for, they call it free play gain. So, what you're doing is you're going to put your fingers on here, pull back just a little bit, give it just a little bit of pressure, and then you're going to rev it up. I'm going to see if I can hold. And what you're looking for is when you rev it, you want that free play to gain about an 1/8 to a 1/16 of an inch. Just come in just a little bit. That's how you know if it's adjusted right. Also, while it's here, sitting here idling, you want to be able to just go and put it in gear, just like that. But it doesn't move, keeps idling. If you gas it, we're just gonna see how it moves like that. We're good to go. So, hope that was informative. Hope it helps you get your Rekluse installed. Yeah, they're super simple on these. You don't have to bleed slave cylinders or any of that kind of stuff. So, really, really easy. But you do, if you need to adjust it, you got to take that clutch cover off and go back in and spin that adjusting ring. But anyway, there we go. Hope that helps. You guys have a great day.